Alright, Veronica, this is Travis with Swap Batting Cages, and we're taking a look at one of your spring break videos here and give you a little breakdown of the swing. This video right now that we're playing through is the swing that we saw you come in here with, and tell you the truth, you're really aggressive with your bat, and that's a good thing because aggression can make up for a lot in the swing. We really don't have too many things wrong with our overall swing. I know one of the issues was that we talked about was whether or not you wanted to step or not step, or have a stride, not have a stride. And ultimately, we ended up deciding not to have the stride, and that's really what we worked from. So, unfortunately, we didn't have any prior video to you no striding, but I do remember that when you were doing the no stride, we were kind of just spinning, and that's something that we also addressed. The main thing that we can get out of this video now that we talked about is making sure that once we get to this spot right here, we don't want to see that bat laying down right here, or rather we don't want to be able to see that knob if we're right beside you. The main reason why we don't want to see that knob is because once we do this, if I forward it a little bit, you're going to notice that it just sinks deeper and deeper and deeper. Now ideally you can actually recover from this, but at the same time this arm is starting to bar out really hard, and we really don't want to see that bar early, because mainly what's going to happen is that's going to cut off a lot of the parts of our swing in this area right here. Ideal, like I said, I mean it looks pretty good overall though, so there's really not too much I can complain about except for just us addressing this part right in here, because obviously once we get older and we start seeing better pitching, that's something that pitchers could take advantage of us on, just because it's going to take us just a little bit longer to have to recover from that. And that's something we don't want to have to recover from. So taking a look at the other side here, we're going to see some of these parts that we kind of addressed. I think right there, matter of fact, I'm warning you about barring that arm out again. Now one of the things about this is again, this is a no stride. Now there's definitely a correct way to be doing a no stride, and you're pretty close right now. If we stop it, slow it down here, you're going to notice we get that bat in a little bit better area. I'd like to see it tilted a little bit more around here ideally, but for where you're at, it's not too bad of a swing. It's good that you've kind of got that movement going backwards. That's really what you want to see in terms of our no stride. What we don't want to see, you never want to really see this right here, our back elbow, kind of pull backwards. When I say backwards, I'm meaning back behind us, not directly behind us to our right, but directly behind us, as if you're pulling that elbow back behind your back. That's something we don't want to see, because when we get that much twist, that's going to cause our bat to lay out early. Now you actually recover from it pretty good just because we get your hand sunk in the right area. If you notice right here, at this point we're in a really good spot to swing. Right here, this is ideal in terms of our arm angles, in terms of where we want to see that bat at. If we do our points right here, that's pretty good. That's really good alignment. And when we get this type of alignment, you're going to see a difference here. This was kind of our alignment before in the exact same spot. You're going to notice that bat is laying out just a little bit early on us. Alright, now picking up where we left off, since my computer decided to crap out on me there. What we're really looking at here is just our overall alignment with our swings compared to each other. Now it's important that we get decent alignment, because that means our bat won't be laying out early. Now right here, you're awfully close, but we're being prevented from having that type of alignment due to what our lead arm was doing. That will cause that bat to lay out early. That will cause that bat to really fall backwards on us, which we don't necessarily want in our swing. One of the things too is that we're going to see when we break out of this, this is the difference that you're going to get. You notice automatically the next frame up, our hands on both sides are much better on the right hand side compared to the left hand side, where that barrel is not laying out at all. That's very important, because when that barrel doesn't lay out, you're going to see the gradual progression that your hands, in fact, are getting in front of your elbow. And when we mention hands in front of the elbow, we're talking about this back elbow. Very, very important we do that, because when we do that, we're creating so much more power in our swing. We're not getting that effect of slowing us down. That's definitely not what we want. Now when we come here, from this spot on, especially on this side, you're not having to recover from anything. From here, we're having to recover from something. So as we go on more and more, this is why it's very, very important. Because once we get to this part, ideally, this is bat lag. So that means that our bat, this is the first spot, it's going to come through the strike zone. Here, we're really, really good in this area. Here, you can tell our bat's still tilted upwards. When we get tilted upwards like that, it's going to be hard to release. Because if you notice the next frame, it wants to release underneath. When we do that, we're going to drag just a little bit. That's something we don't want to see. Here, you're going to notice automatically how much more release we have through that ball just in our next frame. And this is the same amount of time, same exact spot. That's because we're producing so much more force in our swing, i.e. equals better bat speed. And automatically we can create that better bat speed by simply getting our hands in a better spot to begin with. Now, ideally we wish we had a little bit more hip drive, because I really liked our hip drive here. Of course, that's when we were striding. But I can't complain too much just because we've automatically sped up what our bat's doing right here. And that becomes more and more apparent as we go through the same amount of frames. Again, barrel's getting out in front. This barrel still coming behind us just a little bit. So it kind of gives you a good indication of just simply getting our bat in the right spot to begin with and getting correct alignment upon us actually getting our hands across our body or in that connect point. When I say that, I'm meaning this part right here. Very, very important. When you look at both sides, we can tell on the left side you're having to recover from something because that bat barrel's dropping down. From here, we're not having to do that. It kind of shows you how important it is once we get going to this area right in here. So again, if you have any questions or anything like that, just be sure and just email us, or you can give us a call and we'll be more than happy to answer them. Until then, take care.